Hey, what's up? This is the White Rabbit Zach Rain, your Eclipse Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, and you're watching the Three Count Podcast.
Weighing in at an unbelievable weight that you might hate, but you can't even
During high class, we trying to drag ball that.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I am your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. That's right, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. You could call me a Sherpa, but like every good Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and does it more efficiently than you do. So it's never about me, it's about who's entering the ring. And today he comes to us from Trifecta, SWF, Enterprise Pro Wrestling, ACPW, and soon to be Asylum Pro Wrestling. Here is the man, the myth, the legend, the Lord, King Blackie.
Thank you. And this is new for everybody, but it's not Lord King Blackie, it's Lord Eric Black. I outgrew the Blackie just like I outgrew that shitty company ACPW. Just want to throw that out.
Bad, man. But yo, I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so we met at SWF a little while ago, and it was funny because I saw my trainer talking to you, talking to a bunch of other people. So I was like, let me just go insert myself into set conversation, and then just start plucking people all to the side and be like, hey, man, I want to talk to you.
That's how you do it.
He's like, I don't know, Sicken always looks at me like I know he likes the fact that I just make my way around and just ask people to be on the podcast, but I bet at some point, man, it's got to be annoying. Oh shit, here comes Cliff. Who's you wanting to talk to now?
Man, that's how you get them on here, man. You got to do what you got to do. And Sicken bothers me all the time, so don't even worry about that.
Right. So let's talk about this, man. Let's get into the jump, man. Who is Lord Eric?
Well, you see, I've been the king of the cruiserweights, but the Lord right now is I'm trying to sell my fame right now. I'm trying to sell my soul right now for success. I got away from the tag team, got away from the teams holding me down, the company's holding me down. Now it's about me. It's not about strapping someone on my back and carrying them up to Mount Everest like a Sherpa. It's about me now.
You just carry yourself up the mountain.
You goddamn right. Get there quicker.
Hey, you know what? I understand, but I was like, I get it. Some people are just kind of dead weight, and you got to cut them and let them fly out on their own. This podcast has been going on, man, and we love everybody who's come on the show, but we've had to cut a lot of people out too, man, because the show's trying to take flight, and people are like, "You don't want to be here. We don't really need you."
That's right, man. Don't let them slow you down, Red Dog. That's what you got to do sometimes. Sometimes you got to you carry somebody, and then you damn, I'm almost there. I can get there a little bit faster by myself. You got to, cut the cord.
Yep. Well, we miss those guys. Long live those isolated legends in their own mind. But but how did you get into the sport?
Well, what happened was I used to rap. I used to do music, and everyone kept telling me since I was a teenager, black guys don't wrestle, and then it was oh, The Rock's a wrestler. And it's oh no, he's Samoan. So I was like, damn, maybe I can't be a wrestler. So then I just started doing music. And then one day I found out about the School of Hardcore for ECW, and it was in New York. And then I found out they had one in South Philly still, but it was the CZW Academy. So I signed up with CZW, and I trained there for a year. And then I started tagging with Pinky Sanchez. And after that, just year after year. And now I'm in year 13.
And you know what? I would have never guessed that. You have told me that.
But, it's been fun for the most part.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I feel, me being older, right? Because I'm getting ready to turn 37 next year, but still young in the sport. I'm just coming up on my second year. It's there's two things that you're gonna end up knowing. One, you're either gonna really, really love this, or you're really, really not. And those who are in the middle tend to kind of just fall off anyway. But it was something for me where it's I took my first bump and I was like, yo, I think this is it. And now that I'm in my second year, I'm I could probably ride this roller coaster for probably another 13, 14 years and never get tired of it.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, like I'll be honest with you, the thing that helps me the most is I take pre-workout. That pre-workout, man, you be flying through walls, you get chill slammed on the floor, power bombed on the apron, shrug it off like, yeah, and then you go in the back, you cool. The ride home is when your body starts falling apart and everything. That's the secret, pre-workout.
No, okay, that's good. That's good to know because that means I'm gonna start doing that like right before my show.
Oh yeah, you'll be good for the show. Now after the show, I mean, you know,
That crash is that who you know what you paid a price. Just it's a crash. Like you just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, I started getting hotels after shows, man, because I'm like, I'm not driving home tonight. I let my body fall apart for the next couple hours. I drive in the morning.
Yeah. That's why like recently I've been talking with a few of my friends. I was like, listen, if we can just get 4 guys who can drive, right? So myself and 3 other dudes, like we can just journey wherever we want and then we just rotate shifts.
Makes sense. That works too.
I was like, think about the places that we could hit in less than 24 hours. And I was like, just for instance, I was like, for me, full transparency, if I wanted to drive to Denver from Baltimore, it's a 24-hour drive. I was like, get a rental car. We can make it to Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling if we wanted to in one night.
Man, you said 24-hour drive? Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. It was like everybody's sleeping in the car except the driver and the passenger. Passengers should never fall asleep. Guys in the back seat can.
Oh yeah, I'd be looking at like road trips, like 12 hours. That's cool, man. Let's go take a plane. I'm getting a ticket. I'm telling you, man.
Yo, road trips be hitting different though, man. Like I know for me, like sometimes we drive like 4 hours just to go to like West Virginia and go wrestle a show, and you know we might be the first and second matches up, and we might have to just stay there just to kind of like help tear down and stuff. And then you know you're talking about a 5-hour drive back, and then to get up and go to practice at 9 a.m. It can be brutal.
Yeah, definitely can be. I mean, but you know, like you just learn how to like roll with it. Like after a couple of years, it becomes nothing. I say that now, but like you just heard me. I'll get the hotel room, man. I'm like, I can't do it, man.
But so you said you've been in for 13 years, man. I got to know what's been one of the worst bumps you've taken.
There was like this Valor pro wrestling tournament in Lancaster, and me and my tag partner, we had a match and against Bliss and his partner Nemo, and he had rolled out the way on my frog splash, and I wasn't expecting him to roll out the way, and like my mind, it kind of it went into like safety mode, like trying to protect myself. I don't know why, but I just was like, oh no, he's moving. And like my leg had went up this way and the other leg was like straight. And when I came down an angle where my groin popped out. Mm. And I was just like, I remember I let out a scream and then I looked for my partner and I crawled over, I tagged him in, he came in, and I was like, oh man, I must have like, you know, messed up my hamstring. So tag back in the ring. I went in the ring. The guy gave me an arm drag. And my, you know, when you take the arm drag, you know, both your legs go in the same direction. Yeah. But my leg moved like a half an inch past like 45 degrees. And I felt the worst, like just burning sensation. And that had to be the worst because I couldn't sit down at all. I couldn't drive home that day. I had to just lay flat. And I should have went to the hospital, but I didn't. So it kind of healed. It fused back, but like the groin fused on top of the bone instead of in the socket. Mm. And you know, it's been like 5 years now. So I mean, but that's the worst though. Yeah.
Oh no, man! Especially like in the grind, because then you keep feeling it. Like every once in a while, like you just like turn like a certain way, and you feel it instantly. And I know that because you know, and I've probably told the story like a few times on the show, but I did a simple 3/4 roll and I got a sports hernia, like it tore the abdomen right on my groin. And I was like you like exactly how you said it. I couldn't lay down. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stand up. Like I couldn't walk. Like I was in so much pain. And I remember going to the emergency room, like right after that, like the urgent care, and they're like, "Yeah, we think you have a hernia." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "All right, whatever." And I went to the surgeon, and the surgeon was like, "No, dude, you have a sports hernia. You just have a muscle tear, and you got to relax."
See, you went to the hospital after that. See, you're smart. See, I sat there and was like, I sprained my arm, I sprained my elbow and my ankle before. Like, it's cool. It's probably like a sprain. I didn't go to the doctors until like maybe 11 months later when I got into a car accident, and I was like, "Hey, yo, while I'm here, right? Like my groin," and then they X-rayed me and was like, "You've been walking around like this?" I'm like, "Yeah." They was like, "It fused on top of the bone. It's supposed to sit in the socket." I'm like, "Well, I feel fine." Yeah, so I should have took a note from you. You know what I mean? I should have went.
I was like, and the only reason I went too was because Sicken was like, "Yeah, you got to go to urgent care right now," and I was like, "All right, I guess." Then I went, and the funny thing was, this is the part that trips a lot of people out. So that happened on a Saturday, and Sunday morning I was back up at Nick's place, not training because I obviously couldn't walk, but I was just sitting there with a pad and a pen, man. I was just taking notes, just working on character stuff, looking at promos, thinking about what I wanted to do, how I wanted to dress, like just putting it all together. And he was like, he was dumbfounded by it. And then every weekend I would pop back up. Anytime that there was practice, I would just be there with pad and pen. 8 weeks, man, just writing shit down. So he was like,
But that's the beauty though of injuries is like you get injured and you work on your character. You work on like, man, I don't like how my shoulders look in this. Maybe I'll switch up from like a singlet to like some type of like vest when I come out. Like, you know what I mean? I need to work on my traps. You start thinking about your overall character. So injuries are bad, but they're also a blessing in disguise, you know?
yeah. And I think that was something for me too, was that I was working on so much stuff. Like I was like, oh, I want to work on my moveset. I want to learn how to do this and do that and do this. And I think, like you said, it was a blessing in disguise. What ended up happening was like I slowed down. I started really focusing on the things like I really wanted to work on, things that I knew like I would be able to do or things I could hit. And I was like, yo, I enjoy this. And the funny thing was, is I was still forcing like this badass mercenary that I wanted to be. And I was like, this is never going to work. And then I slowly started to peel back like layers of it. And I was like, where's this really going? And then I realized it's like, oh, it's just me talking shit like always. So we'll just expand on that and run it.
Yeah, let me tell you, the first time I saw you in character, right? I sat there and was like, he looked like them guys that knocked on my door with the warrants that time and took me in 2 a.m. Like, I know that guy. I remember that time. No, but yeah, that mercenary character, man, it's good shit.
Oh man, I appreciate it. It's been funny, man, because by the time this airs, right, I think the first promo that I did for Kayfabe Junkies will be out. Hopefully, I don't know, but Ron, pick it up. But you know, like I remember he had a mic and he had the mic stand right, so he had the boom, and it was like just enough that I could see it. So I was like, "Yo, pull it down a little bit, just so it barely in shot." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Just trust me." I was like, "And when I come back, just start recording, and I'll come sit in a chair." So he's like, "All right, buddy, whatever you say." And so I walked off, and then he hit play, and I walked in, and I was like, as I walk in, I was like, "I don't want to wait for our lives to be over."
Oh no, not the Dawson.
Yeah. And I sat down. I looked up. I was like, oh, "Look at the pretty kitty." And he was like, "Wow!" And like everybody was there was just like dumbfounded with like what I was doing. And even at the end, man, I was like, "And Superior G, when you and I face off, it's gonna be like your masturbation addiction. Either I'm gonna beat it or beat it."
Oh no.
It was just something dumb that I could think about. And like even Ron was like, "Oh man," he's like, "You're definitely growing with this character." Like he said, he's like just blossoming way too much for this. He's like, "This is crazy."
Yeah. That's another good dude, Superior G. I like him, man.
Oh yeah, Ron is the best. I love talking trash to Ron, but the one thing I love about Ron, and we'll be fully transparent with this, everybody who's ever met Ron Holiday will instantly have an impression of Ron Holiday by the time that you end a conversation with him.
Oh, you talking about that's right. I'm Ron Holiday, and let me tell you something else.
Everybody has one, and it's funny because like I would do interviews with guys, and I never knew some people would know who Ron was, but then like if you go check out the episode with Capital Vices, you can see my clear reaction when Sin was like Ron Holiday. I was like, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
So let's move over, man, from like worst bumps. Let's talk about the hardest hit, man. Like who's laid it in the hardest to you?
The hardest? Fuck. Offhand, I probably think it'd be Little Rob from he's the instructor over there at Super Crazy Academy over there at Skid Row.
Mm.
And man, he'll chop you. Like, I'm pretty good with chops, you know what I mean? Like, I was bored of it. If you couldn't take a chop, don't wrestle. But when he fucking lays in with that fucking backhand or the overhand, you're hard to stop. So like that hurts. And I got this like cut like right here that never healed up. I took this head bump from Pelly Prima from Ring of Honor. And like we were going home and we was on the top rope. This was like in my rookie years, like 2009, 2010. Grabbed me by my ears and he just gave me a headbutt. And he hit me and like I fell off the top rope and I felt like my eyelid opened a little bit. And like I was looking, I was like, I saw the blood hit the mat. Next thing I know, he was coming off the top. He hooked me for a underhook DDT. That sucked. I never got a headbutt like that ever. I saw stars.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that Sicken like always told me. He's like, this sport is never about if you get injured, but when. He's like, because it will happen. And like it was a wake-up call when I, because like what was so crazy is like I started, there was COVID, right? So the whole country shut down. We started opening back up a little bit, and then I tore my groin, and I was like, 2 weeks before I was supposed to debut. It's like, damn it.
That sounds about right. That's how it works.
And then, I have a friend who also runs on this podcast, and he knows who he is. And yeah, anytime that we are in a match, like I will have a bloody lip by the time that the match is over because he always punches me in the mouth.
I mean, but if you can't trade, open fists with your best friend or one of your friends, are you really friends?
So anybody who goes and checks out my TikTok will know that was something I totally said today. Because yeah,
I've seen that as a matter of fact. I saw that with the punch exchange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah. I remember seeing it. But I always said that because like every time I face Sicken, I get my bell rung, or like he'll hit me with a brain buster when we had a match in January, and I was sitting there at the hotel just like fucking Sicken.
Yeah, he caught me right under the lip, and he went to throw his CM Punk knee, and like I turned away like no one is coming, but I think he overcommitted because he came in and just I was like, I was like, all of this is about to hurt even more. And I just remember like picking him up and just throwing as much weight as I could into my spine buster just so he could feel it. I was like,
oh, he loves it.
Oh yeah. And then he's okay. I'm honestly sick. You are sick. I can see why you call yourself sick because I don't know any father or any sane person would never want to do anything with Legos. And he's like, I'm the Lego guy. I'm like, stop it.
He is. That's his favorite spot. He loves them Lego spots. When we had our 6-man tag last year at SWF, he brought out those Legos. I seen that shit out the corner of my eye. I said, oh no. But I didn't go through them, so I'm good.
So, once you get done with like a show or anything, man, I'm just curious, man, what's like the post-match snack got to be or the post-match meal?
You got to go to Sheets. And when you go to Sheets, you got to go get the Frito tacos, the Jones, where they put they cut the bag in half and then they make the taco. They put the ground beef in there. They put the jalapenos and the cheese in there, the Fritos on top. And then I asked them to put, the little Dorito mix on top. It's the best things like $6.95 you can spend, man. I love that.
And this now intrigues me. Like, I have to go do this because I stop at Sheets all the time. I have no idea that that's a thing.
Yeah, they cut the bag in half and then they just build you like a taco, or like they put all the stuff using the chips. Like, it's the best. I love me some Sheets.
I'm going to have to do this now. That's such a great suggestion.
Absolutely. Shit.
So while you've been
take a road trip now to get some.
Right. I mean, yeah, you know what? There's a Sheets around here. I think it's probably like an hour and 45 away. I could make that.
You see?
You got to make the drive. Got to make those drives. So curious, man, you've been in this game for a long time, man. Like you said, 13 years. So I'm just curious, what's the hardest lesson that you've had to learn?
Hold on one second. He's damn air. Sorry about that. All right, what you say? I'm sorry.
Said, what's one of the hardest lessons that you've ever had to learn being in the sport as long as you have?
Basically, be humble and learn how to not take things to the streets. Like I'm from Philly, so you learn early on. Respect is everything, and like in wrestling, a lot of times you gotta humble yourself. So like you'll be sitting there and someone will say something to you, and like the first thing you want to do is like punch them in the fucking mouth, but you can't, because not only does it affect you, it affects your tag team partner. And starting off, I wasn't like that. Like there were some veterans, I'm not going to throw their names out there, that said something, and I was like, you juiced up pussy, I'll punch you in your fucking mouth the next show, da 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 da. And you gotta curve that, because like I mean that. Like this wrestling's cool, but like if you want to take it past that, I'm the type of guy where I'll come to the show even though I'm not booked, and I'll see you. You know what I mean? And like you gotta pull back. You gotta like learn that some of these guys are just keyboard warriors, and some of these guys are doing a promo for themselves, and they're clowns. So you gotta pull back. You can't just handle things like you're in the street sometimes. Sometimes you gotta like listen to people talk, let them talk, be the bigger man, so that way you don't hurt yourself and like people associated with you. That's the hardest thing.
No, I like that. And that's actually that's great life lessons too, man. It's like sometimes a lot of people just want to talk a lot of big noise, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious, man, like what kind of advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
Don't get it. Don't do it. I mean, getting into wrestling now, like when I got in 2008, I graduated in the same class as Adam Cole and, Joe Gacy and Alex Colon and them. And, they all went to various degrees of success. And, at the time, Moxley just came in, Sami Callihan started training us, and you had like, Joker and Kingston, all these guys that like you see start to like move. You can see them at a level, and then you start watching them like move up, where now there's even less people watching the main product. There's less people coming to shows, and it's kind of hard to like, if you're coming up now, to see the inspiration like you did 10, 13 years ago. Like if I came up now, I would be uninspired, because like I don't see people around here getting shots like that, moving up. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I mean, I can understand where you're coming from with that. And I think that's kind of like what people are kind of missing, is they're always looking for like that hometown hero. And like in some places, man, it's just not there.
Yeah. I mean, you got Ring of Honor's not around no more, or they're on vacation, or like they're rebuilding. I don't know what the fuck. But like they're not around right now. And like, you know, you look at WWE and they want females like 25 is old over there. Like they don't want to sign nobody that's like 25 or older.
Right.
You know, guys, they want guys that's like 6 feet. Like most of the guys that people give a shit about, no offense, is like 5'11" and under. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just, I don't know. Like if you want to become a big star, it's probably going to be harder now than it's ever been, to be honest, unless you're like juiced to the gills or you just happen to be tall as hell for no reason. So like, my advice to like a younger wrestler coming in, do this because you want to do it. Don't have dreams of grandeur of like main event and WrestleMania and like stuff like that. Like find somewhere where you can sink your teeth into like creatively and, you know, ride it out. And if it happens, it happens. If not, at least you enjoyed your time there.
Yeah, I like that. And you should just enjoy it anyway. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna do this because I imagine myself at WrestleMania. Like to be real, like I mean, I know it's 2 nights now, right? But before, I mean, it was like 13 matches. You're talking 26 people, maybe more, depending if there's a tag match. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
not saying that you need to be like, you know what? Don't do that. No, go for it. But you know, also enjoy where you're at. Enjoy the journey that you have going on.
Yeah, but I see people take bookings and like they're miserable as shit. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, I gotta do these bookings so I can make it. And it's like, but if you don't really want to be here, why do it? If I don't enjoy a place, I cut them off. There's 100 different promotions in the tri-state. Why am I going to stick somewhere where I'm not getting anything out of it?
Right.
You know? So,
Yeah. Actually, you know, yeah, and that's right. I mean, you shouldn't have to be you don't have to be anywhere. You can just be there. It was something I mentioned to a friend too. I talked about the other day where I was like, man, like you shouldn't have to get up and be like, man, I gotta go to work. It should be like you get up and you say, I get to go to work. I was like, because it changes the mindset that I gotta means that you have to do something that you don't really want to do. But when you say, I get to, it tells you that you see that as an opportunity or as a positive reinforcement. And it's like, and you should just continue to chase those things. So yeah, that's actually a really good point that you don't have to wrestle at places. You get to wherever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't get it. Like the day that I'm working somewhere where I'm going, oh, I gotta go to these people, or like, oh, I don't want to work here. Or like there's people in the locker room where I'm like, I really don't want to work with this guy. I just won't be there. You know, I'm not going to sit there and just mope around and then, yeah, let's talk about what I'm going to do tonight. Like, I'm not going to go through the motions. You know what I mean? Like, if I go in here, like, people tell you, I get it. I'm like, yeah, we're going to fuck each other up, huh? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I get fired up. And, like, that's fun to me. When that's not there no more, I won't be there.
It sounds right. So I'm just curious, man. Seeing, like I said, you've probably been in a ton of different locker rooms, so I just need one do and one don't of the locker room.
Do be friendly to everybody. Like, you never know. And this is just like some shit that I experienced. You never know. For instance, me and you, right? We're in the same locker room, right? All right, I'm 13 in, you're 2 in, right? We're in the same locker room. Why am I going to treat you any different? You know, like you saw when you came to SWF, just how I treated anybody else, King Jeter or TJ Marconi, treat everybody with the same level of respect or whatever. Now I come in, I treat you like shit, right? Fucking greenhorn, or whatever. 5 years from now, oh man, I want to go wrestle at fucking ABC Pro. And then, oh, who's the booker? Oh, Big Red Dog. Oh, he don't fuck with me, man, because you know, I told him to eat a dick, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, don't be that fucking guy. And I do it just out of respect, but like it's funny about the people who, when I was booking, treated me, you know, weird when I was a rookie. Now they're in my inbox like, hey man, I heard about, you know, y'all doing this show, like da 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 da. And it's like, oh, well, you were just telling me to go fuck myself like 6 years ago. So do that, you know what I mean? That's That's a do and a don't.
Oh, I like that. You only get one chance to make a first impression, man. So it's like you're either gonna make it memorable or you're gonna make it memorable.
Exactly. That's beautiful.
Bet. Well, those are like all my hard-hitting questions, man. But we do have the second greatest segment in the 3 Count podcast. People ask, what's the first? I tell them all the time, it's the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show. But this is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions. Mr. Lord, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. Whatever's your answer, that's your answer.
All right, bet.
All right. So we're going to put on the imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite color?
Green.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Favorite movie?
I know what you did last summer.
Lobo or Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Favorite actor?
Denzel Washington.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Favorite podcast?
This one.
We don't coerce anybody in here. Nobody knows. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Rain of Sky.
Bet. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast, favorite curse word?
My AirPod finally died. Say it one time, I'm sorry.
So my favorite question to ask every single person that comes on, favorite curse word?
Curse word?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Just a good F-bomb is what's necessary in this life, man. All right, man. Well, those are it. That's it. The 10 count questions. So all I need from you is to let our viewers and our listeners know where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook at Lord Eric Black, or you can find me on the Instagram underneath the same name, or on Twitter underneath everything's Lord Eric Black now. So you can find me anywhere. There you go.
Bet, man. Well, there you guys have it. So you know what that means. We gotta take this home, okay? We gotta take it home. And that is it for the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. That's right, you can call me your Sherpa, but it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring, because like every good Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. And so that's why we have him here, formerly known as King Blackie, now known as Lord Eric Black. The man himself, he's here, and you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you just wait for this episode to end, you wait for that outro, and you choose another episode to listen to. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3 Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At ProWrestlingTees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.